Today, my friends, two of the most iconic characters in all of Warhammer Fantasy are going to be joining in on this quick battle. So it's going to be the Empire led by Balthazar GELT, but more importantly, it's going to be led by GOTREK and FELIX, which of course is the main focus of this battle. And we're going to be facing off against Norsca, who's going to be led by one of the most iconic trolls. So this should be a very fun matchup. So as far as the build goes, we do of course have GOTREK and FELIX. And there's a number of matchups they're good in, and I honestly think that both GOTREK and FELIX are very competitive. But what's really cool about these guys is that in the Empire, Dwarf, and of course the Bretonnian matchup, they pretty much fill holes and different weaknesses that those factions have. For example, in the Bretonnian matchup, GOTREK is going to be a great monster slayer. Bretonnia has always struggled with big armored monsters, whether it be the Tomb Kings or just anything like that, really. But you get GOTREK in there, he has anti-large, he has armor piercing, he's a heat-seeking missile, he's actually very, very tanky with 4,400 HP and a pretty good ward save ability. He gets in there and he just goes balls deep. On top of that, FELIX is going to be good in matchups in which you're very worried about alpha strike. So for example, if your opponent's coming in with Wood Elves, they're going to be sending a massive Waywatcher volley with Prey of Nothrema on your Lord. You use the Helping Hand, which gives your Lord 44% ward save against all damage types. Very awesome stuff. But there's going to be countless matchups in which GOTREK and FELIX are also good together, and I think that the Norsca matchup is one of them. So if we look at the abilities here of GOTREK and FELIX, let's go ahead and pause here because it may take a moment since they're new, and look at them looking all awesome there. I didn't bring all the items and abilities, but for the most part, I brought the best ones. Helping Hand does give a nearby character 44% damage resist and 44 melee attack. But this Blood Oath is so good. So whenever he's in melee combat and he has heroes near him, so this could be Karl Franz, this could be GOTREK, this could be Balthazar GELT, he's going to be healing your nearby heroes, including himself. It's very strong. So for GOTREK, he's just, as you would think, he's just a badass slayer. Oh man, look at him. He just looks extra angry. He does have GOTREK's Doom. So if you stack GOTREK's Doom with the Helping Hand, he actually gets 88% ward save. On top of that, he has Death Blow, and he does have Heroic Fortitude. So when he's below 10%, he has a chance of healing, which is very cool. And of course, he's unbreakable. Now for the rest of the army, it's going to be halberds and greatswords, the classic Empire pike and sword, or I guess not really pike and shot, but you guys get the picture. 2 halberds in the front, charge defense against large foes, going to be helping out against mammoths and Famir and monsters and things like that. We do also have 2 huntsmen, and huntsmen are super good in this matchup. Very good against skin wolves, decent against Famir, though they do lack armor piercing, still a very good choice. And they're just world beaters against the freaking giants and things like that. Also quite good against Throg. So we have 2 huntsmen, we have 2 Demogryph Knights who are going to be the defensive hammer. So I think Demogryph Knights, even though the Empire did get a lot of new units, I think Demogryph Knights are still going to be the staple of most Empire builds. So we have Demogryph Knights with halberds, and then we have one group which is going to be the Royal Altar of Gryphites. Up in the sky we have Balthazar GELT. I really wanted to get Karl Franz, but I also wanted to bring a caster and didn't want to not have a caster. Granted, this battle as well as some of the other ones I will be casting are from the stream I did recently, so you guys probably obviously remember there were a couple where I did not have a caster. So for my opponent's army, the great Professor Pone coming in with monsters. So he's going to be coming in with a giant. It looks like in the front line, he does have marauders. The giant's a very risky pick here, but it looks kind of like he's going to be going for like a threat overload where he has so many good targets, like threat saturation. It's like in 40k, for example. If you have like a bunch of knights, like of course your opponent's going to have good targets, but if you have a lot of good targets that are a little bit hard to handle all of them, it still can be threatening. But still, I think the giant's a risky pick. Norscan giant, Throg, and a Shadowcaster with all of his goodies there. Looks like marauders and spears, and there's going to be a massive vanguard of skin wolves, and they are going to be the armored variant. So armored skin wolves, regular skin wolves, and then the skin wolf werekin. And we do also have the Beast of Tashnar, I think, and Norscan Warhounds on each side. I think the Beast of Tashnar over there somewhere. So yeah, pretty good flanking potential. So let's get this show on the road, guys, and see if GOTREK and FELIX are up to the task of taking on the Troll King. So trying to get some free charges here with the Gryphites, and also my Huntsmen are going to be shooting in against Marauders here. So big old charge going to be coming in from Demogryph Knights with halberds. And granted, the halberds aren't the best against infantry. They're still good. I mean, Demis just have such good and tasty stats that they're going to be able to flatten troops like this pretty hard. So the Marauders here getting leveled. The Huntsmen, in the meantime, don't really have much else to shoot at. And I figured that the battle is so fast in this matchup, like it's going to be going so quick that, just shoot at whatever you can. Just like, don't worry too much about ammunition conservation because they're going to be coming in pretty hard. In the meantime, Melkos is going to be getting dropped here on my Demogryph Knights, but I am able to get back before Throg can really catch them. So quite happy about that situation. Some Hounds in the back are waiting. Norscan Warhounds probably just going to be waiting for the Huntsmen to come in. So the Huntsmen are going to be falling back behind the main lines, but I will be using greatswords and other troops to kind of hold a defensive pocket there. So GOTREK and FELIX are going to be jumping in the front here in a moment. They're going to be helping out against these Marauders, and then at that point they'll be jumping over and attacking Throg, if memory serves. So the main line is going pretty well. Halberds are holding firm. Halberds are able to fend off Throg here, and then we're getting a hammer in the front. So Demogryph Knights are going to be charging in. And here come GOTREK and FELIX. So GOTREK's going to be leading the charge, his Mohawk standing tall amongst the Marauders. And you can also see that FELIX is coming in. And in accordance with the lore, FELIX is actually a pretty good combatant. Over the course of the books, he gets much more skilled in combat with his adventures with GOTREK. They're going to be going in there, and the Giant's coming in as well. So the Giant is going to be going for the Troll Slayer. That is a risky move, so I do pop GOTREK's Doom, giving him 44% melee defense, or 44 melee defense, and 44% damage resist. So he's going to be tanky. The Huntsmen are shooting in against the Giant. Balthazar GELT in the back is going to be dropping a huge final transmutation back here, which is going to be hitting Maws of Savagery and Skin Wolves. Granted, I'm a little bit outnumbered here. The Melkoth was able to slow me down and keep me from getting over there faster, but the Demogryph Knights are going to be coming in with a huge hammer on these filthy werewolves, and the halberds are saturated here as well, so it looks like the Skin Wolves are going to be just taken to the Shadow Realm as they just get taken apart here. Balthazar Gelt doing his job, just going to be flying on Quicksilver cackling, but man, GOTREK has just karate chopped this Norscan giant. I mean, he's gotten broken up, and GOTREK's coming in, he's pissed, his mohawk is bristled, and he gets a huge cleaving blow on the leg of the giant here. But is the giant going to get away? Felix coming in as well. And even though Felix is designed against infantry, he still has 50 melee attack, which means he's going to make pretty steady contact against things like giants. So at this point, a little bit of a backline pressure as the Beast of Tashnar and these other troops are going to be pressuring the backline. And it looks like a nice pendulum is going to be coming down, which should do some huge work against my Spearman as well as my Greatsword. So very good cast there by Professor Pone. However, the battle's certainly going very well for the Empire and GOTREK and Felix, as the Demogryph Knights were able to peel off the Skin Wolves and the Skin Wolf Werekin, who pretty much just got trash canned right there. So I didn't feel like chasing Throg down, so basically I'm going to have GOTREK and Felix fighting in the blob here, and I'm making a big effort to always have them together because they do heal one another. At least Felix does heal GOTREK. And GOTREK's going to be going after this Shadowcaster here, which is a very good choice, and I can tell you from experience, GOTREK does a ton of damage. And I think right now I was mistakenly hitting some of the other units, but once I do focus in right there, it's going to be quite good. So we are able to fend off the Hounds in the back line, and the Giant is going to be taken out by the Huntsman here with their anti-large. Very, very solid against Norsca, like I said. Demogryph Knights in the back are going to be rotating in. I accidentally sent in Balthazar Gelt. He was in a control group with some other units. So Gelt's going to be going in for a duel against Throg, which is a pretty bad situation, but you know what? The Supreme Patriarch, his meme mask, fears no one. GOTREK and Felix are nearby, so we do have GOTREK here, and I think Felix is lurking in the mist. Yeah, he's right here as well, so you can see these guys. They're going to be going fisticuffs, basically trying to take out the Bale Fiend at this point. The Bale Fiend, of course, his pendulums are very cost-effective, and magic is probably one of the few ways that Norsca could get back in this game. So if we look here, Balthazar Gelt is going to be getting slapped up by Throg. Again, a pretty big mistake there, but he should be able to get away and just turn around and run. I was having some problems because Throg does have Frostbite, of course, and Frostbite is a mechanic which slows, so I wasn't able to get away. But in the meantime, a pretty good trade. GOTREK and Felix just laying the wombo combo on these guys. Oh, look at just GOTREK just doing the 360 spin, and he takes out the Bale Fiend with the no-scope axe swing. Beautiful stuff. So at this point, GOTREK and Felix are going to be charging heroically into Throg. The Troll Slayer and his Storyteller here going to be engaging against Throg, and it looks like Throg's broken, and that's probably going to be the tail of the tape for Norsca. I don't think there's going to be much more going on as Throg is forced back here, and it looks like he's going to be shattered due to army losses. So that was a pretty fun showcase. We got to see, and obviously it wasn't the most competitive Norsca build, but we got to see a cool showcase of the Manling and GOTREK fighting against a giant, and then after that they did get to fight against Throg, which was very cool. Now, as far as the build goes against like Norsca, like a regular Norscan build would be very wide probably, and I mean, it would probably, Skin Wolves are something you might see. You probably just wouldn't see the Giant. Aside from that, it was honestly a pretty competitive build. I just think cutting the Giant would probably be safer, but he did go for that threat overload, which could have paid off, you know, if I didn't bring the Huntsman and a couple other troops like that. So, but yeah, I mean, GOTREK and Felix, I'm telling you guys, are both very good. And I think, depending on the matchup, they're both going to be competitive picks. I think that Felix, his heal plus his ward save kind of reaction ability is going to be like a staple in a lot of different builds. GOTREK is going to be a little bit more niche, but mixing them in is honestly a really strong combo that can be very tough to deal with. And for the Empire, it's quite cool, because oftentimes your front line is going to be getting crumped, but if you have GOTREK and Felix fighting in the front line, shoulder to shoulder with heals and all kinds of good buffs going down, Empire front lines are going to become surprisingly more durable. I mean, those guys are just anchors, and they're very hard to move. Now, sniping Felix is probably one of the better ways to do it because he is very squishy. He only has 3,000 HP. And, you know, I guess he has 70 armor, so he's not like super squishy, but his HP pool is very low. So like Spirit Leech Focus Fire or some sort of Powder Focus Fire can take him down very quickly. You know, same goes for GOTREK. GOTREK has 4,400 HP, which is pretty good, but they also both have abilities that can, you know, give them ward save, which is very, very cool. So great characters. I think this build is actually pretty decent. Balthazar Gelt, my play was a little bit sloppy, but obviously I think Balthazar Gelt plus GOTREK and Felix could be a pretty strong combo in countless matchups. Like pretty good against, for example, the Greenskins. You're going to have these like hard-hitting troops in the front line. You're going to have final transmutations to deal with blobs. There's countless builds you can work with. And over the course of the next couple days, I'll be showing you guys builds that are functional with GOTREK and Felix, with the Empire, the Dwarves, and Bretonnia. And also be showing you builds that show which matchups you shouldn't bring both of them in, like Wood Elves, for example. It's very, very risky because Way Watchers can snipe them very quick. So yeah, very well played to Professor Pone. Please make sure to check out his YouTube channel in the comment section below. It was definitely a very fun game. I think that was actually the first showcase of GOTREK and Felix we had on the channel. So thanks again, Pone, for the great game. And we will see you guys on the other side. Take care.